Are y'all ready for the Dr. James J.C. Cooley Show? It's your life. That's right. It's your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Normally, we would have Michelle here, but her other job that kind of pulled away for the time being. But so, guess what? You guys got 100% me right now. Not really. I got an absolutely fantastic guest coming on the show today, and I tell you, this young man, I can call him young man, is doing some great things. Overcame a couple of things, especially in the military, some issues like we all do. We all overcome certain things, but tell you what, when we overcome those things, we hope that we build upon those so that lesson learned will kind of make it easier for us if we had to go through some of those things again. So that's what I'm talking about, perseverance and having the right attitude. And this young man that I got on the show today is the epitome of having the right attitude. And I can honestly say that this guy's my friend. I see him at the gym pretty much every day when I'm back in Texas right now. We're in sunny California, 85 degrees out here. I it's kind of warm here. 85 degrees here. But as I was saying, I'm looking forward to this discussion because I think that you all will learn a whole lot from this discussion. Before I introduce the guests, whichever platform that you all are watching us on, whether it's the E36 television, Transfer TV, Apple TV, Roku, listening to us on the radio, AM 660 The Answer, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer out of San Diego, KCBQ, AM 1170, The Answer out of San Diego, Washington Show, or whichever platform you're watching us on. If you want to be part of this conversation, there's 84 platforms. If you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do, just go to the comments. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Yeah, so first of all, what we're going to talk about today is first responders. First responders. And a lot of people just consider first responder as the firemen, as police, all of these type of things. But in my first responders is encompass everything. It has encompass people that see that you might have an issue, or just like a first responder, identify issue and go there to help resolve those. And it requires you to be a first responder. So, and part of that is mental health. We all suffer some type of way from some mental health. We have family members or others that suffer from mental health. But being able to understand that there's help, there's things that we need to do to cope with it. So my dialogue for opening up brings me into this absolutely wonderful guest. Yeah, so the title of the show, just like I said, is First Responders and Mental Health. And today, what we're going to do, today, we have a sit-down discussion with my great friend, Sean McMahon. He is a first responder, a military veteran. You all already know how I feel about that. We're going to talk about early career and coping with health, medical issues, and early PTSD. We're going to talk about sobriety and spirituality. And we're going to talk about a whole lot more, especially the mountain experience that he and I talked about, I think a couple of weeks ago. Now, let me tell you a little bit about, well, you know, I'm not going to tell you about Sean. Sean is going to tell you about Sean. Without any further delay, can we bring him to the stage, Sean McMahon? How you doing, my great friend?
Oh, I'm doing well, very well, sir. Very well. I like your live studio audience audio. That was fantastic.
Hey, man, I tell you, man, it's every time I get an opportunity to chat with you, man, I learn something and you inspire me. And I know that you inspire others through whatever challenges or whatever things that might be going on. We all have to find the good, and we all have to figure out that we can get through this, and we all have to let the family members in. Well, not all of them, but some of the family members in, because when we're suffering, they are suffering. So, First of all, Sean, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what made you click, why it's just helping others and the betterment of you and your friends, your family are so important to you?
Well, this will give your California audience a warm and fuzzy. Born and raised in Temecula, California. So, yeah, I've got to tell people here in Texas, I'm in Fort Worth presently, telling people I'm from San Diego because nobody knows where in the world Temecula is, so that's like the closest city outside of LA, and I'm not claiming LA. I'm sorry, not
Well,
happening.
I live in Temecula. I'm in Temecula right now.
Yeah. Yep, yep. That was one of the first things we bonded about, JC.
Uh,
Yep, yep. Just where we're from, man. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I was out in the Sequoias a couple weeks ago. We'll get to that story. And man, I was out there and I'm like, oh wow, that's what mountains look like. This is fantastic. Oh, is that an ocean? Holy cow. All right. That ain't the Gulf, that's for sure. So yeah, born and raised in Temecula. I primarily through high school and stuff, I ran track. Um, Lost my father at a young age from pancreatic cancer. He was a Vietnam War vet, Green Beret, and all that stuff, and he had his fair share of PTS and substance abuse problems as well. So I grew up in that from a very young age. Um, and that did have an effect on who I am today and how I approach addiction, sobriety, maintaining that, maintaining the health of my family unit as well, because, you know, just what I had to grow up with, what I didn't have. Um, so After losing my father, you know, I was inspired to be a paramedic. You know, I remember he was on hospice care, and we woke up that morning. I saw the paramedics working on him, and you know, that really resonated with me. I want to do the same for others. You know, the artist in the ambulance for my thrice fans out there, my rockers. So that's what I wanted to do. And then also I was inspired by you know, my father being in the military. And it was ironic because there was more Marine Corps stuff hanging in our garage than actual Army or Special Forces stuff. Like he had his 101st Airborne flag, his, you know, Special Forces, you know, dagger and all that stuff and rocker. And but there was more Marine posters out there than anything, man. Like I grew up watching the freaking Dragon Slayer and all those cool 90s commercials and stuff, man. It was rad. So I grew up and I'm like, I want to be a barrel chested freedom fighter. I'm joining the Marine Corps, you know. So after high school I was awarded a track scholarship to go to Sacramento State, which was very short lived. Spent about a year up there, and I found snowboarding to be much more enjoyable than, you know, going to class and stuff. Let me back up. I was injured on the track team, so wasn't able to compete, lost my scholarship, so that's when I became a ski bum. So yeah. Um, After that, joined the Marine Corps, and I was a chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, explosives defense specialist. Did that for 8 years, and meanwhile, went to EMT school, went to paramedic school, and worked for a small fire department outside of San Diego, and eventually led me to Texas after following my paramedic school graduation, and plopped up here in Fort Worth, worked for an ambulance company, and tried for, seems like, every fire department in the Metroplex, and nothing panned out. And my partner on the ambulance and I, we decided, hey man, you want to be a cop? Sure, let's do it. So we both ended up getting hired, and here I am 12 years later, and I love it. I never go back to EMS or Fryer again. So yeah, it's been a great ride so far.
so we all find our passions through a lot of different ways and a lot of different things. And you never know that your current situation is not your final destination, as it goes far as to trying to decide what I like to say what you want to be. Because what you want to be might not be what he sees you to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna take a station break. And if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching this on. Go to the chat portion of it. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Your life. Dr. James JC Cooley.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, Love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Looking to advance your education or career while staying true to your Christian faith? At Viridian Christian University, we make higher education affordable, flexible, and accessible wherever you are, cultivating a vibrant learning community where faith and knowledge converge, preparing graduates to fulfill their life's purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, doctorate, or honorary degree, Viridian's 100% online programs can fit your lifestyle. Study on your schedule from your home, office, or anywhere without compromising quality or values. With affordable tuition and programs in Christian leadership, business, and theology, Viridian will equip you to lead with purpose in a changing world. Go to ViridianChristianUniversity.com and see how you can join our global fellowship of faith-driven leaders, online and affordable. To learn more and apply, visit ViridianChristianUniversity.com. Viridian Christian University, a unique and dynamic environment for success, empowering leaders of faith.
I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you what, the first segment is always, as you already know, is getting an opportunity to know a little bit about our guest. And this guest right here is extraordinary. At least time that I've been knowing, I think I've been knowing you a little bit more than a year, Sean.
About that, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, more than a year, man. And just like I said, I pep up every time you come around because I know we're getting ready to have a great conversation. And we start striking these conversations up, and so much stuff that's in common that we all have to overcome. One of the challenges that most people have, that they all experience some type of mental health issues. I spent 23 years in the military, so PTSD and all that. Yeah, that's I throw my hands up. Yeah, yes. But that's not the end of the world. It's just being able to adjust and being able to get the proper help that you need, and also being able to learn from others that have already had that and cope with that. And so, what are your thoughts on that, Sean? You was in the military, I think, for 6 years.
8 years. 8 years, sir.
8 years. And you already know the challenges that we have coming out of the military. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. James, you and I both know it's alcohol is really ingrained in military culture and stuff. And hey, I'm not going to sit here and dog anybody that likes to have a good time. I certainly did. Just some of us can't drink, and I'm one of them. But heck, the Marine Corps was born in a bar. We celebrate the Marine Corps birthday with a whole bunch of booze, and And, some of those coping strategies that Marines and, a lot of military folk end up going on to be first responders, whether it be firefighters, paramedics, law enforcement as well. Um, heck, nurses, you name it, they're, bred from the military folk where unhealthy coping mechanisms or, you know, really being told to tamp down your feelings or humanity, compassion, whatever it may be, in order to get the job done. And yes, there is a time and place for that where, me being a police officer, a tactical paramedic, I need to let my personal feelings go aside and I'll deal with them later in a healthy manner. That's one thing that is never that me personally, this is, strictly my own opinion. Um, and personally, I never really experienced any um, training on decompression after a serious call, or heck, even shift in general. Um, Recently, I just started, you know, making it mandatory for myself to work out after work. Instead of coming home and picking up a six pack from 7-Eleven and drinking that, and that's my decompression. Now I'm getting rid of my cortisol and all that stuff through healthy means, through zone 2 cardio, or whether it be jujitsu or a high intensity workout, CrossFit, something like that. Something after shift to flush out all the adrenaline, all the cortisol, that it doesn't matter if you're a cop, firefighter, paramedic, you still have the same ups and downs, hormone wise, as um, anybody else. So you need to get that in a healthy manner instead of bottling that stuff up and then, you know, putting a cork on it that is booze.
So, yeah, I mean, with certain things, just like signs of PTSD and all that, a lot of time we don't even know it. I mean, we don't know what it is. It's kind of hard to identify the textbook definition of that because it comes in so many ways, and so many things could cause that. So, my question to you is, in your early career as a first responder, what signs of stress or trauma were present that you did not recognize at that particular time, that it could potentially be leading or already with their PTSD? And most of the time we try to deny that. So what were some signs that you had, and you say, hey, sooner or later I got to get this fixed. I got to get this under control.
Yeah, and I'm going to preface all this by saying, again, this is my own personal opinion. Um, I'm not a mental health professional or anything like that. I am speaking strictly from my own point of view. Um, I what a lot of first responders deal with. Yes, there's PTS. There's nothing wrong with y'all. Y'all can grow out of it. Okay, so it's disorderly for now, but hey, we can get past it. Like, it's not permanent. So let's. I prefer post traumatic growth if we're going to use anything, because it's something we can move forward from. You're not going to forget those experiences, but we can get them to a healthy place. With things like EMDR, other treatment modalities like that. For me personally, there's so many definitions for PTS, but I think universally what most first responders deal with is something that's called moral injury, and that could be a lack of trust in the workplace, hostile work environment, to things that really stress your moral code, your moral compass, your ethical values and beliefs that you see in the field. Could be a murder suicide, it could be a domestic call, where children are involved, that sort of thing. So I mean, personally, I don't shy away from these hard conversations. My skeletons hang out with the closet door open, man. So I mean, I've dealt with my fair share of personal, moral injury and PTS as well. Plenty. I'm not here to toot my own horn, so I'm not tooting it. But I've been shot at work, stuff like that. And you relive those experiences. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, the visceral, like, gut reactions, I can vividly remember those types of calls, mainly with children. and then especially hard now being a parent, but now that I've got healthy coping mechanisms, we can go from there. But really having visceral reactions to that and then trying to suppress that with the only thing that I had available or really knew how at the time, not being educated on self-care, was alcohol. So work a night shift, have a couple drinks to go to bed. And unfortunately, alcohol doesn't provide the best sleep. Helps you get to sleep, but to stay asleep, heck no, doesn't do that. So progressively got the consumption of it got to a point where wasn't problematic or anything like that, but it was a coping mechanism to numb those difficult calls, the visceral physical reactions and stuff. That goes with moral injury and goes with PTS as well.
So, um, a lot of times that our family recognize the signs before we do,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and many times they want to walk around that because they don't want to disturb us any more than we might already be. Yeah. So, what the family did, the family when they saw you reacting in different ways, did they come to you immediately and say, "Hey, Sean, you might want to look into this," or "Sean, what's the problem? Sean, what's on your mind?"
Mhm.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, honestly, so first of all, my wife, I'm married, a saint, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
She's my rock. I have no idea what I would do without her. So Amanda, I know you're watching. Love you, honey. Um, yeah, married a, you know, a saint. Very thankful for her, without her and my son, I don't know if I could have made it out of that hole. Um, they are my why. But with us being so close, you know, us being soulmates, she saw the signs and symptoms that I wasn't going down the most healthy, correct path, but her love for me overshadowed that. And yeah, I'm speaking for her, but this is what was relayed to me. Um, but she dealt with that for a long, long time, and then it wasn't until I came to the point where I recognized that I needed help, my rock bottom. For me, that was actual physical dependence on a substance, which was an absolute no go for me. So once I recognized that, I'm like, all right, well, tomorrow getting help, and this happened to be on Halloween, so I've got to keep it together for the kiddo, and make sure he's got an enjoyable Halloween and all that stuff. But yeah, it wasn't until I admitted that I needed help. My wife was able to follow the breadcrumbs and was like, "Oh man, how was I so dumb? How did I miss all that?" And yeah, it ultimately it took me, the person dealing with the substance abuse issue, to get to the point where I needed to get help. I needed to fix my family, and I mean, it was the most selfish decision that I've ever made with the most selfless results. So, I thank God every day for my sobriety. Every time I wake up in the morning.
Wow. Amanda and Little Sean, how you doing out there? How you doing out there? But a lot of times it's I mean, we have to get our mindset around certain things because it become a denial. I don't know
Hmm.
about you, but with me, a denial that no, I'm just having a bad day. Well,
Hmm.
every day?
Yeah.
You cannot have a bad day every day. And just being able to understand that we're not the only ones that have that problem. And
Hmm.
family support, friends support, honesty, integrity, and ethics are so important to anything that we do when it comes to self-care, self-help, and reaching out there and to understand what that help should be or what it should look like. We got about 2 minutes before the break.
Sure.
In your mind, what does self-care looks like?
And self-care is figuring out a routine that works best for you. For me, I've got to be at roll call at 5:30 in the morning, so I'm up at 3 o'clock, just enough time to, get myself going in the morning. So I jump in the ice bath. I do meditation, morning devotion, Bible study. Drink my coffee. Sometimes my my kiddo comes downstairs way earlier than he should, so I'm like trying to scoot him upstairs while I'm rushing out the door to make it to work on time. So, a strict, rigid routine for me is, that's self care for me. Yes, it's lengthy, but it's necessary to make me the best version at home and at work. Dealing with the public. Um, so yeah, self care is, yeah, I'm pretty needy. I'm a princess.
I tell you, I'm enjoying this conversation. We're gonna take a station break, John, but we're gonna
Yeah,
come
yes,
back. We're
sir.
gonna pick it
Yep,
up
yep.
because I want to talk about a turning point that you and I had talked about it as relate to. I call it the mountain.
The
You
mountain.
know, oh yeah, I'm gonna keep you curious. So I tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Dr. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I'm sitting here having a conversation with my good friend Sean, and I tell you, it's as I mentioned earlier, it's always a pleasure chatting with this young man. Chatting with this young, honest, straightforward, and every time I have seen you in the gym, Sean, you always have a smile on your face. You are always calm. What did it take for you to get in that habit of the power of positive thinking, did that help you resolve some of the things that from a PTS perspective, help you cope with certain things? Because at one point I know you was hurting back, the leg, and all that a couple of times. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, on top of, work, PTS and all that stuff that's familiar to most, folks with medical conditions can have PTS as well. Um, it fits the DSM definition of it. You are in direct fear of, you know, serious bodily injury or death. So I have a genetic blood clotting disorder. So my body makes clots, but it lacks the proteins to break them down. Um, so I've had a saddle pulmonary embolism back in 2016. Cerebral sinus vein thrombosis, i.e., big clot blocking off parts of my brain that's still there. So that's fun. Every time I get a headache, I'm like, is this a good one or a bad one? I don't know. We'll find out. If my hand starts going numb, then I'll start going to the ER. Um, yeah, mini strokes, blood clots in my legs, like you saw me when I was on crutches when I signed up at the gym. Um, so I mean, all those life and death experiences. If I'm call me being dramatic, I don't know. Um, but it's almost stress inoculation, to a certain degree. You've been through, you know, the fire and made it through, and each and every time you're, harder and harder and harder. You're building that resiliency, you're building that grit. Thankfully, the Lord blessed me with the ability to look back and recognize my mess ups and be like, okay, yeah, I screwed up. What do we do better next time? How do we move forward? Um, and I think up through all that hardship, and then finally finding sobriety and finding Christ and accepting Him as our Lord and Savior. I mean, golly, why not have a smile on your face, man? Why not, exude that to others? And I certainly don't recognize it. I hear that a lot. They're like, man, you're like the happiest dude I know. I'm like, yo, I'm just being me. you know there's no other way to be. And people hear my story, and I've got the unique ability to screw up just enough to where people are like, I'm glad I'm not that guy, but hey, I've got good stories out of it, and I managed to squeak by. And I've got good stories to tell at the end of it. So that's what keeps me positive, and my bubbly personality.
Yeah, so you just mentioned a couple of things that we unpacked a little bit. Sometimes we reach a certain point in our life, or we understand these things. Just like I remember when you're going through blood clogs and a couple other issues that you had, but you still maintain a positive attitude. But when did you recognize? And you also mentioned God. That's Lord and Savior. When did you recognize at one point or another that you might have hit rock bottom and you needed help? And what was the sign? Just did that beautiful wife of yours, Amanda, tell you, hey, son, when did you recognize that? And what did you do about it? And then I want to talk about the mountain.
I'm sorry, my son is here. Here, come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, Gunner. How you
Hi.
doing,
Okay.
Gunner? How you doing, man?
All right. Hey, buddy, Daddy's talking. We still have a little bit. I apologize. He's very stubborn, just like his mother and I. All right. Go on. Love you, buddy. Um, so yeah, that rock bottom point for me was love you. Yeah, that's my why. Yeah, him and my wife. Yeah, that rock bottom point for me was on Halloween. Halloween's like one of my favorite holidays. Is where does that sounds, man? I put like live zombies or like uh movie realistic zombies in my front yard, man, and it's crazy. I'm surprised the police haven't been called. Like my coworkers, like, yo, what's up, man? What are the corpses doing? They're fake. They're plastic. I'm sorry. But no, I was set up for Halloween. I was really excited about it, and I noticed my hand shaking, and um, that was odd. Then I got to thinking, I'm like, "Hey, man, when's the last time you ate?" Oh, it's been a couple days. Oh, can't keep water down. That's not good. Hey, paramedic brain. I know what this is. You're going through withdrawals, and this is um, I'd venture to say I was atheist at that point. Um, and once I recognized those symptoms, I made a decision to myself. I'm like, we're beating this. Just had this overwhelming sense of determination, and I was going to jump over every hurdle, no matter what it took to beat this. And it started right there. So we're trick or treating. My wife's like, "Hey, you're not drinking. What's wrong?" "No, not feeling great." So the next day, call her up. "Hey, need some help. Let's go to the hospital." So detoxed for 5 days in a mental health facility. That was unanticipated because I wasn't a danger to myself or others. So what am I doing here? I'm just a little shaky and can't speak right because of alcohol, but I'm good. Like, this is a medical issue, right? Um, but still, I mean, that really stripped me of my pride. That gave me some humility. It was one of those God winks where, like, it's like, "Hey, dummy, we're gonna get rid of that pride because you're just like every other person that you've taken to a place like this. You're not special. You're not a beautiful, unique little flower, man." Then went to treatment. And same thing with Marine Corps boot camp. Get with the program, and I'm there for a reason. And I woke up every single day, saying my family, my wife, my son, or my why. And it continues to this day, except God's my first why, and then they're shortly behind. So um yeah.
Wow. You know, what you just said takes a whole lot of courage, and it takes a whole lot of renewing of the mind, and being able to have that oneness. I'm talking about the yokeness with you and Amanda, where you told her, you called up and said, "Hey, look, we're going to go to the hospital." Couple of things like that happened to me as well, and I'll tell you about that one later. But my point is this: is sometimes the signs where we done hit rock bottom, it have to come from us ourselves, because others already see it. you know,
Mhm.
others already see it, but they love you so much, they're not going to destroy your spirit. And so I believe that God's put us to that breaking point sometimes, Sean, where it's like, hey, um, it's time. It's time, my child.
Mhm.
Time, my child, to live the purpose that I made you for. That's what I said. I mean, God, it's time. So a lot of things we have to give up. We have to, oh, I can't give this up. I love this so much. I can't do that. Ah, you got to give it up and push back in order for
Mhm.
that purpose. Right now, we're gonna take a station break, but I'm gonna come back, and that's I wanted to lead off with that when I got back. I tell you, if you want to be part of this great conversation, come when we come back, we also going to talk about the mountain. And John, I told you I'm not gonna let you get away without telling that story. I was so intrigued, and
It's
I'm
a
sure
good.
that you told your beautiful wife about that story. I think.
Absolutely. She
Yeah.
was she was one of the people I called from the top of it.
Yeah, so I tell you another thing, Sean. Remember I told you 3 months ago that, and I'm gonna take a break in a minute, that we're speaking of the military right now, that I sent a couple of guys from Texas to Marine Corps boot camp 4 months ago, 3.5 months ago.
Like, yeah.
They graduate this Friday, and one of the promises that I made is that if you graduate, I would be there in my full dress uniform. I hadn't wore that uniform about 12 years. So I always keep my words. Is what I'm getting at is I just want the world to know, and I will have evidence that I can fit that uniform right now, and I will have that uniform on this Friday.
Oh,
So,
I'll believe it. I see you at the gym as much as I'm up there, brother. And tell you what, I'm gonna bring you a couple patches from my agency to pass along to those young devil dogs.
I look forward to it. So I tell you what, we still got a lot more. Sean McMahon coming your way. If you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments on the platform that you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and wow, hey Sean, I'm telling you, brother, I'm enjoying this conversation right now on worldwide television, radio, podcasts, everything. I'm inviting you back to the show for part 2 because I haven't looked at anything on the note sheet because I hadn't had to. When you're having a discussion, that's what it's all about, wherever it leads us. So that's what my show is all about, is genuinely being authentic. And you're one of the most authentic individuals that I have had. And I have had over 1,000 shows.
Thank you.
And so if you have the time, I want to bring you back. This is not over yet, but certainly going to come back. And next time you come on the show, I hope Ghana is there with you on the side.
Oh, Easton, My son?
Easton.
Easton, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
I'll make sure. I'll make sure.
Yeah,
I'm a rookie at this, so I don't know. I don't know if I was going to get in trouble. The FCC was going to come get me. I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I will absolutely be back, and I'm honored and humbled. So thank you.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say one thing. That yeah, you probably have saw a couple of commercials about my kingship, my kingdom. Yes, I am a king in Ghana.
Mhm.
My installment is coming up. The big one. This is the where the paramount kings and all of that show up and really give you the power tonight in February. You and I had talked about a little bit about that.
Mhm. Yep.
Audience don't know a whole lot about this because I haven't said anything. But my kingdom have already told me that I need to start promoting it. My point is this: if you haven't been to Africa, if you don't know anything about it, if you don't understand some of the cultures, 54 countries that are there, uh, my installment means they make you a permanent king for life. And that's a whole lot of stuff to go into that, which has never been done before from a person that was not born on that soil. And so February the 14th, my student, it would be worldwide televised. So if you're not able to come, I would give you the link where you can see that where my beautiful wife, Dr. Michelle Cooley, will be crowned queen
Mm.
of one of our kingdom, Agona, Sakaran, and Central Ghana. She would be she would be called Queen Mother on the side of me as king. And it's I'm a sub king. I fall under the king. Yeah, so, but as king as well. So more of that will be coming out later. So stay tuned. And if anybody want to come and watch this experience, we'll talk about it later. So before we forget, I want to get off
Mhm.
into this story that you and I had that was so intriguing. I said you got to come on the show and talk about it. Uh, only thing I could think of, and I came home and talked to Michelle. It was called The Mountain. The helicopter, the fun thing that turned out to
Uh-huh.
be. Can first of all, we got about 5 minutes left in the show.
All right.
John, I told you we have to talk about it. Can you
Yes.
tell our viewers and our listeners about that moment where it clenched and you knew that that was a God fearing moment? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were a group of 16 of us were afforded an opportunity to go on a resiliency training trip out at Rankin Ranch in California, right at the foothills of the Sequoias. Bunch of first responders, firefighters, police officers, military vets, that sort of thing. So we go out there, work on resiliency, and come back better people and serve our communities and families. So I was fortunate enough for the American Warrior Association to fund this trip for all of us. And one of the days was a planned 2 mile hike. And I'm like, hey, we're in California. Maybe it's going to be like a hike, like in the trees and mountains and all that stuff. I got it later on, but yeah, we'll get to that. So we start this hike up a fire road, go about 2 miles up there. We stop, have a bit of programming, pray. It's a faith-based resiliency training. So prayed, had some programming, lunch, looked at the gorgeous views, made me really miss California. And then five of us idiots raised our hands when they asked who wanted to go to the summit of this mountain. So myself and four other knuckleheads raised our hands. We had three firefighters, a cop, and then an army vet. Army vet, he's hiked the Amazon. One firefighter, he's been all over North America hiking. A savant when it comes to directions. We never got lost. We ran out of time. Okay, there's a difference. We knew where we were going. We had a map, and me, we didn't get lost. We just missed a turn. So the turn that we were supposed to take to go to the summit was about 270 degrees from where we stopped for lunch. I missed the directions. I had to get my backpack and I had to run about a quarter mile to catch up with my mates. So about 7 miles later, we're overlooking Bakersfield, California, when we came to the realization we made a mistake. So, well, hmm, all right, we need to go back east. We look at our map. Instead of doing the right thing, which was turning around on the fire road, and going back the other direction, we decided to beat feet and go down to a creek and try to go out that way to hardball, hoof it home, and then we'll be free. Didn't work out that way. We needed a machete for the creek. None of us had some, so it was like the whole Black Hawk Down thing where they're taking the back plates out. I'm like, hey man, I don't plan on getting shot in the back. Hey man, I don't plan on getting lost in the woods. Um, so it was one of those kind of things. So
And in the sake of time,
yes,
can you please tell our audience the major significance of this?
yeah,
Because
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
so we got about a minute
A minute. All
to
right,
do that.
I will keep it very brief. So last year I tore my hamstring at work. Couldn't walk for a good chunk of a year. I was prideful on this last push up a mile to a bluff. I was prideful, thinking to myself, "Hey, man, you were peeing your pants a year ago. Now you're hiking a mountain." And God's like, no, I did that." So boom, he took my leg away from me. It seized up. It brought me to my knees so fast. Next thing I know, I'm staring at dirt in my fingertips. I look up and I'm like, "I see what you did there, Lord. You literally brought me to my knees, brought me to heel like a dog." And I've got this overwhelming sense of crawl or die. So I started crawling, and God's pouring salt in that field of pride that I had sown. Um, so He made me crawl and crawl to Him to the last 30 yards, basically vertical for my um, physical and eternal salvation. So I thought I had believed in God before, but now I know He's real.
So just to sum this up, and you told me real quickly, he's like, JC, couldn't I had to crawl. Everybody pretty much had gave out. You were the only one had your cell phone that was
Yep.
charged.
Yep.
And that was a moment like, hey, we're gonna die up here. God always have his plan. And
Hmm.
you told me you said you start thinking about Amanda, your son. You thought about everything that was important to you, and all of a sudden it seemed like it was a light that came and said, hey, we got you. And the next time we on air, we got you, and God pulled you all to safety.
Hmm.
Pulled you all to safety. I
Yes,
think
sir.
that's so intriguing. And I think during the next episode that me and you have, if you decide to come back on the show,
Oh, absolutely.
we
Absolutely.
we talk about what God's blessing mean to us and the light mean to us to show us that things are important. My great friend, we are out of time, but again, we're going to do this again if you have the time. I'd like to thank Dr.
Absolutely.
Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. I'd like to thank my producers, San Diego, Dallas, and all over the world. I love you guys. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the James Cooley Show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on 84 different platforms. Always, always dream big, think big, and be big. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life, and we'll see you then.